Hello and welcome to Lit with Parag and Parag Yadav. This video is about the IB English Paper 1 structure. This video is useful to IB English language and literature students of standard level and higher level. A number of you have asked me for a proper scaffolding for IB English Paper 1. So here's the video. In front of you is the overall structure for Paper 1. Paragraph 1 is the introduction, while paragraph 5 is the conclusion. What lies in between is the main body, as you see in this brace bracket here. Paragraph 2, 3, and 4 are the main body paragraphs. In this video, we are going to learn how to structure the introduction, how to structure the main body paragraphs using the P2 format, and the third is how to structure the conclusion. Let's look at the introduction. The introduction should always be a single paragraph, but has two sections, two parts, the general statement and the thesis statement. The general statement contains WH answers about the text. So, the general statement looks backward into the text. WH answers are answers to WH questions as what, that is topic or theme, who is the text written or spoken by and addressed to whom, when was it spoken, delivered, written, or printed, and where, why was it created, what is the reason, what was the reason, and what was the purpose, and how, that is style. The thesis statement works as a promise, works as a window to your entire paper. In the thesis statement, you should write what do you plan to write, and it also has the 3 points that you are going to discuss in the paper. So, the general statement sums up the given text, while the thesis statement gives a window into what is going to follow into the paper. For the sake of this video, I am using Dr. Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. The link to that speech is attached in the description. You can read through the script there. The introduction in front of you, the sample introduction, has two sections. The general statement is in blue, while the thesis statement is in black. The public speech, I Have a Dream, was delivered by Dr. King in August 1963 on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. Thousands of supporters were present at the occasion when Dr. King called for civil and economic rights and an end to racism in the United States. So this general statement has all the WH answers. Text type, that is public speech. Title, I Have a Dream. Delivered by whom? Dr. King. When? August 1963. Where? On the steps of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. In front of whom? Addressed to whom? Thousands of supporters were present. And why? Because Dr. King wanted to call for civil and economic rights and end racism in the US. The thesis statement goes this way. The following commentary highlights the way Dr. King effectively uses diction, historical and social references, and a lyrical structure to underline the themes of racial segregation within society, the inefficacy of the unjust judicial system, and his hope for a free and equal society. So, it clearly says the following commentary highlights three aspects, stylistic aspects of the text: diction, references, and structure, to highlight three major themes: racial segregation, inefficacy of the judicial system, and hope for a equal society. So these are the 3 points. Okay, we'll just go over the point, evidence, technique, evaluation, and reflection. So I'm not going to read the particulars of these 5 elements, but I want to highlight an important, in fact, a very important aspect of following the Peter structure. A number of students write the PETER, but they simply write these as individual ingredients to the paper. But that is not the proper way to write. What you should be doing is once you write the point, you find the evidence based on the point. Then the technique builds on the evidence. The evaluation builds on the first three preceding points. And finally, the reflection builds on the four preceding points. Consider this entire table as the overall structure, while the vertical columns are three paragraphs, each paragraph following the PETER structure as we see here. These individual paragraphs are based on the 3 points that we have already discussed in the introduction. So, how would these paragraphs read? Dr. King makes a poignant critique of racial segregation in society. The quote, sadly crippled by the maniple of segregation and the chain of discrimination from paragraph 3 supports this idea. Visual imagery is used in crippled and chains. These images show the physical disability or impediment that racial injustice has imposed on the people. And, and finally, the audience detests this imposition and wants segregation to be abolished as soon as possible. Moving into paragraph Moving into paragraph 2, Dr. King challenges the unjust justice system and demands change. This is seen in Flames of Withering Injustice in paragraph 2. Dr. King further references the Declaration of Independence as an important legislative or judicial milestone. This milestone, which originally aimed to uphold justice for all, has failed the American citizens even after 100 years. This points out that the judicial system needs an immediate improvement. Into paragraph 3. Yet Dr. King shines light on his dream for a bright future. We see this in Let Freedom Ring in the last lines of the speech, wherein the use of anaphora gives the speech a rhythm. The rhythm makes the speech poetic and adds to the musical and auditory quality. This has an uplifting effect on the audience. The lyricism of the speech indicates that everything is not lost and that there is hope. Conclusion. In the conclusion, you should do these two things: restate the thesis and summarize the main points. To conclude, Dr. King uses diction, historical references, and anaphora to create an impact on the audience. Through the speech, the audience not only finds a voice against rampant segregation and injustice at the time, but is also encouraged by Dr. King to be hopeful for a better tomorrow. You see that the three aspects, the three important points from the introduction have been revisited in the conclusion. I hope this video has given you a good understanding of how to structure the IB English Paper 1. For more on IB and A-Levels English, visit litwithparag.com. You can also follow Lit with Parag on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Thank you.